Hello?
Well,
Hello? Oh, wow. Your outfit is straight mob. Look
really?
at you. Yeah, you look like a gangster.
I just got home from work, so I like switched into something that hid my dirty shirt.
I switched into something a little more comfortable. I slipped into what I would like to call my night gear,
My my going out gear.
my relaxing pod gear.
This is how I pod slash hit the town slash go. That's all I got.
Hot take. I am looking fresh to death on a random Tuesday night. No worries, everyone.
No worries. Well, needless to say,
No.
we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we've got a lot to unpack today.
Yeah. One thing that we can't talk about, I was uh I was informed by my sister-in-law that if we bring up a certain pop singer with blonde hair, that she may need to stop listening to the pod because the saying beat a dead horse. I think we've run the course for her for a
Okay.
while.
Okay. So we're going to lose a faithful listener
Yeah. I feel
if
like
we
we'll lose.
continue on this path.
Yeah. And then I feel like we might lose faithful listeners if we don't talk about her. I tend to lean on taking a break though from her.
Oh, yeah. I'm fine with taking a break. I'm for it.
This is
I can
the
take a break.
this is the unofficial Turnstile podcast. We don't need to talk about her all the
Right. I
time.
was going to say, was this ever an issue that we had to not talk about that?
I think she just
No.
started coming up all the time, but no, we don't have to talk about that.
Well, we had so many people that were infuriated by the episode. That's why.
It's true.
Anyway,
Anyways, what's going on? You're home.
so yes, I'm home and it was a horrible morning weather-wise, but now it's beautiful outside. I've got the windows open. I'm ready for summer. I'm ready for seasonal depression to take its turn out of here. I feel like I feel like because also where we live, it's not like you can go do a lot of different things, right? Because we're kind of like in such a rural area that when it is like, let's say it's not going to snow. Oh, okay. Let's say that it's not going to snow, but you're like expecting snow, then at least you can be like happy about why you're not going to go out. I think we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is the first year ever that I was like, okay, it's not snowing and it's like yucky outside. It's super dreary outside, but there's nothing you can go do really. You know what I mean? Like in a city or in a less rural area, you could, go somewhere cool while it's raining or while it's yucky outside, still find something fun to do that was kind of like mentally like nice.
Yeah.
And here that would be like going to Sheets and like getting an MTO sandwich, really treating yourself.
Getting some unlimited French fries.
Yeah, get unlimited fries and really just go hog wild on the order screen.
Yeah.
But I feel like, I don't know. I think maybe it's just getting older too. You're like, okay, is this actually what seasonal depression is?
Yeah. I
I
feel
don't
like,
know.
yeah, I don't know where we land on that because we're pretty rural in Warwick, but
Yeah.
still close to things. But it's not like we go to New York City all the time or go out
Yeah.
to the movies or do anything like that. I mean, it's either hang out with friends or just be home and go to bed early. But we do a lot.
Yeah, which now I feel like is fine. I think now I wake up at this time of the year, I'm like, when I wake up, I'm actually like, I'm ready to go back to bed. And then I was like, is that a sign? Is that a bad sign? But then I was so happy to go to bed that I was like, well, that's not a bad sign. That's just me doing exactly what I want to do,
It's just
which
you
is
being
sleep.
you.
That's me being me right now.
That's
So
funny.
what?
But you don't feel like
Yeah.
that in the summer.
No, well, I've never felt like that ever in my life. I think it's also just that I'm getting older and this is the first year, I think, after like everybody, it's like COVID, it was a good excuse to be like, man, life is weird. Things are weird, right? Everyone's at home and you kind of are going stir crazy and don't know what to do sometimes. And some people loved it. So now it's like, no, we actually need to live life again. Oh, and by the way, it's winter time. So get ready. I don't know. I was just thinking about it the other day. I'm not sure. I haven't pegged exactly what it is, but
Yeah, I got that.
yeah.
I
So
think
now it's like going into summer. I'm like really looking forward to summer. So I'm like, I wonder why I'm looking forward to summer so much. Normally I don't care as much, but I do this time.
so. What are your summer plans? What are you looking forward to?
Um, well, we're going to Nicaragua,
Yeah.
for the end of March. We're gonna go to Nicaragua, and I cannot wait to get there because it's sunny and hot. And I'm a baker. I like to bake. I
Me
like to
too.
come back looking 10 years older
But
at
dark,
any summer. Yeah.
older and darker.
Yeah. I want to be like as dark as possible, as wrinkled as possible,
You
but
want
the
to be
vitamin
the
C.
you want to be the eye tan GIF lady.
Yeah. 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 I want to be her. I want people to wonder if I actually am deceased
Hmm.
already and they did that painting on you to make you look like you're
Yep.
a lot like so people are okay with it.
Hmm.
That's me. I think I'm going to request that actually. I want an open casket and I want the most tan you can see. I want it so tan.
So one thing about getting older that I found this last trip to Nicaragua was we got home and Chelsea's like, "You have a new mole on your head," and like old guys where they have like moles on their.
No.
I have like a spot. It's not big. It's just a mole, but it's like I'm like, "Well, how does it go away?" And she's like, "It doesn't. You have a mole now on your head."
Stop.
Because I don't use a lot of suntan.
You don't put sunscreen on your head?
If I do anything, it'll be my head, but I'm not consistent with it.
Oh no.
I mean, now
Oh,
I'm gonna
is
be.
this a thing?
Now I will
Oh
be.
no.
I didn't know that's how you get moles by not like being out in the sun.
What?
I didn't know that. What did you? I thought they just grow like at random. She didn't.
Why would a mole just grow out of nowhere?
I don't know. I'm not a doctor,
Well, you don't have to be a doctor to know that moles don't just grow out of nowhere.
but I didn't know they were from the sun. I didn't know the sun gives you moles.
Wow.
No, I guess
Uh-oh.
I learned something just now by all your both of you sending
Reactions.
response.
I think I'm going to link an article on the sun definitely creates moles.
Okay.
Um, we'll have that ready for our listeners.
So you only get moles by the sun.
No.
Can you check that?
Do you want me to check it?
Yeah. I just want to
Oh
know.
my word. Fact check the mole situation.
Fact check the moles.
I know that a mole cannot be brought on just by sun because I had a mole removed under my armpit when I was a young teenager
And you're
for
not
numerous
getting any
reasons.
and you're not getting any sun in your armpits.
I'm not getting any younger in my armpits, but I'm definitely not out there showing my armpits to the sun for
Hmm.
fun.
Gotcha.
But once, I started shaving my armpits as a young girl, that presented a problem.
Yeah.
And then it was a problem not only in school that I didn't shave my armpits, but also because of the mole.
Gotcha.
So I got rid of it all in one sitting. I mean, just
Got rid of
abs
it.
whack-a-mole, shaved the hair, went back to school like a new woman.
Killed two birds with one knife.
Killed two birds with one mole.
With one
I
scalpel.
mean,
With one. Yeah.
with one mole.
Yeah.
I don't know why we started this conversation about moles, but I do know that there's a phrase that me and Ashley, Ron Caglione, and Jenna and Lee always said from like years ago when we went to New York, the four of us. For some reason, we started using the word mole like in random sentences. So we were all laying in bed at night in New York City. And it was, like it was all the lights were off and we're in bed. And I just remember all of us laughing so hard and saying phrases like, got a new mole. start tomorrow instead of like a job.
Yeah.
And this went on for like 2 hours. Better make the mole up good. Got company tomorrow. Like just use mole for anything. And it was funny to me at the time. I'm still laughing, but I can tell by. Okay,
Um,
so let's talk about self-discipline this year.
how's
What does
that?
that look like to you? Oh, no, 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 no. Don't you put me on the spot again. You turn that right back around. You turn it right back around. Just kidding.
Um, well, I'm hoping that my moles.
Oh my God. I hope through some self-discipline and some self-care, I have no more head moles.
head. I'm gonna try to cut my quota down on head moles for
Yeah,
sure.
get it down. Get it down.
Well, I'm running the half marathon, so keeping the running
Yeah.
going even after that. So
Even after the mole.
even after the mole. Um,
How's the half marathon training going, by the way?
Not bad. I'm up to like over 6 miles for my long
Nice.
run. Trying to do that, trying to watch my diet, trying to cut down sugar and other
Okay.
things. Um, trying
How's
to,
that going?
it has its ups and downs,
Yeah. What kind of sugar stuff do you even like? I don't see you as like a super sugar guy.
like Smarties and Mike and Ike's and
Oh,
sour
you're
gummy
talking that
bears.
90s candy life.
I'm in that 90s life, not like cookies or donuts
No.
or in some ways better, like lean, not like gluten-y,
Right. Right.
syrupy ice cream treats,
Yeah.
but like gluten-free.
You're on that sugar daddy train.
Yeah, I don't eat nerds, but like nerds is good.
Oh
Like
my
that kind of
God.
stuff.
Have you ever ate a box of nerds with a glass of milk? Weirdly satisfying. Sounds disgusting.
No. You know what I used to hate? I don't think I would like it just because I always got the same Blizzard. I always got an M&M Blizzard
Yeah.
at Dairy Queen, and there's always, just because I'm guessing the nerds thing was right next to the M&M thing, but you'd be eating an M&M Blizzard and you take a bite and there'd be a random like nerd in there,
No.
and that sweet does not connect well with the chocolatey ice cream.
No, not at all. That sounds awful.
I don't think I would like. I don't drink milk. I don't like milk very much, so I don't know that I would like nerds.
Okay. Our dad drank a gallon of milk a day growing up, so it was always in the house.
Wow, that's a lot of milk.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, it was a real thing. He drank a gallon of milk, he'd add like 14 bananas a day. He's still alive, so that's cool. He's doing something, I suppose.
Huh.
Yeah.
My friend Aaron, for like, I don't know if he still does, but it was like over 10 years where every night in the middle of the night at like 2 in the morning, he'd get up and drink milk.
Oh, really?
Yeah, super random.
Is milk good for us anymore?
I don't, I think we're on the it's not good for you side of things right now. It might shift
Yeah.
back, but
Because remember Jennifer Aniston on the milk ad? It was like everybody was like, oh, if you want to look like Jennifer Aniston, drink milk.
yeah. And then Jennifer Aniston's like, I don't actually drink milk.
Yeah. And then she's like, I hate milk.
I hate milk, but they threw so much money at me
Yeah,
that I let
I
them
did.
paint a fake milk mustache on me, and I took some
So
pictures.
sick. So sick. And there was me and Jenna like on the couch, just like drowning in glasses of milk and like super bloated stomachs.
You're almost there.
I was like, Jennifer,
We're,
here I come.
we're
I'm gonna
coming for
be,
you, Jen.
yeah. Next milk ad, me and Jenna. Wrong. So wrong. Yeah, it was so bad. And then mom's like, well, it's Friday. Do you want to go down to Ned's store, which is where all the candy was, and we would walk down there at the end of our street and we could pick out candy on Fridays. And then it was like I would get these nerds, but I would be like, well, if I got nerds and I drink milk, then I'm gonna wash out all the bad nerd stuff with this good Jennifer Aniston milk.
That's flawless logic right there.
Flawless. And then I would sit and watch Shirley Temple movies while Jenna was outside like skateboarding for 9 hours.
Hmm.
I couldn't get that girl off the pavement. It was like a 9 to 5 job trying to get that girl to relax.
And you're like, why? And like, and then you're like trying to figure out why she has more energy than you as she's like
Yeah.
working out 9 hours a day on a skateboard, and you're
Yeah.
watching Judge Judy and eating nerds.
Oh, I definitely was watching Judge Judy and eating. That is exactly my afternoon that I still want,
Yeah.
actually. And Jenna's learning like how to ollie. And I'm like, can I get Judge Judy? Like, can we please relax? It always like really irritated me when people were being super active and like I wasn't and wanted to relax. Again, why I wanted to discuss self-discipline. Like, why would I be that way? What was my problem?
So what do you think, Kat? What do you think is good things for self-discipline? And what do you think are detrimental to self-discipline?
Oh gosh, I think detrimental to self-discipline is definitely giving yourself the reward first, even though in some instances it can work as a trick to your brain. But I feel like giving yourself the reward first is detrimental to having self-discipline.
So what's an example?
Even an example, well, it's not really a reward, but like as an example, not reading the chapter of the book and then taking the test, but going back and looking for the answers instead of reading and learning why it makes sense, you just find the answers to pass.
Mm.
That would maybe be an example, but a reward would be like, I'm going to save up $25 and go shopping. And when you get to $10, you're like, I've done so well. I'm going to spend $5 on something I want. Well, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
That's just a thought. I'm sure there's better examples, but I just know me and Jenna talked recently about having like growing up, like how different parents taught their kids like self-discipline or like how you even teach yourself that. It's a very interesting subject to think about. You know, it's like, can you do all the things that lead to the reward, even if it takes a really long time? Or are you not as self-disciplined where you're like, I give up, I'm going to start something else now?
I'm probably less I don't have good self-discipline as far as like habits and like following,
Follow through?
I guess follow through. I don't know. I don't think I'm terrible at follow through, but
I feel like you have great follow through, like with the pod.
yeah, I guess in some ways. Um, but I feel like bigger things, like I think I struggled with follow through with the van,
Uh-huh. Okay.
um,
What would the reward have been for the van?
to live
Like
in
just
it,
it being completed and you
to
living in
be
it,
done
right?
and live in it, not in the dead of winter, but then it took longer, and then
Yeah.
and then I think back now, like how much the van was great, but I could have put more. I just didn't understand like electrical. And I couldn't
Yeah.
find anybody that understood the electrical because it's not just a basic system.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now it's like um every once in a while I hear something, like I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they were talking about their van and how the electric ran, and it's like like ours wasn't running the right way, but it's like I didn't understand it, but then I don't have the follow through to just keep reading and keep reading and keep researching until I understand.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Yeah.
I don't get it. And then it doesn't help if someone else is like, if I call someone that like I have friends that like if no one knows how to do something, they're gonna be the ones to find out, and they'll spend as much time as they need to like figure it out. Where
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
you don't get it, like even you don't get it, and I'm supposed to get it, and then I don't. So I don't know if
Yeah.
that's follow through as much as like not commitment, uh dedication or something.
I
Like,
feel like it's almost like selling yourself short almost of like, oh, well, my brain isn't going to grasp like this style of like teaching, like you reading or something.
yeah,
Part like maybe like you could probably read something and understand it or read something about electrical and figure it out and learn it. But when you see someone else who you think has all of those things in their basket of mental capability and then they can't do it, it's almost like, whoa, well, I definitely am not going to be able to do it then if you can't do it. But that's not necessarily the case.
Yeah, and like that we all do plenty of things that no one, like everyone, we all do things that like people say they want to do or they could do, but they don't do them, but
Yeah.
we do them. So that could have been another one, but I just couldn't get my head around it. And then I got frustrated because I think as much as I know how to build things or work with wood, I don't understand. I'm not um, mechanically inclined, like electrical,
Yeah.
plumbing, and stuff like that. So then I hit roadblocks, and then it just took me longer. And then eventually I'd figure it out, and then it would all make sense. But it's taken me like we sold the van 2 years ago, maybe
Yeah.
like 2 years ago, less than. But it's still like I'm still like now I'm still thinking about it and still trying to make sense
Mhm.
of where what we did right and what we did wrong.
Yeah.
Um, so it's like it doesn't go away when we sell it, but it's like could have done more, but I still don't totally understand how or
Huh.
that's kind of self-discipline to me. Like I could have just powered through. I think I could
Yeah.
not power through.
Yeah. Do you feel like that's making you want to do another one and be like, I can prove to myself through trying this again? Or are you like, no, I'm not cut out to do that again. That was just like it worked out and it was awesome, but I'm not going to do it again.
Probably want to do it again and learn from the the not mistakes because it we sold it and they're
Oh
super happy
yeah.
with it and it
Yeah.
was fun, but like maximizing the effort, like uh,
Yeah.
doing it again, doing it differently in a lot of ways that makes more sense to me to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, do it again, figure it out.
Yeah, because like we have the van, and when we bought it, that was kind of like the goal was to like to do that. But when you actually start watching videos or trying to learn how to do it, and you think about all the time that it takes, like to me, like you doing that, like Seth doing that, to me, that's like really, really like you did use a lot of your mental energy and like figuring things out, basically having a little house on wheels. I mean, like it's not the simplest thing. So and to some people, once they do it once or twice, I'm sure, that it is easier, but we still have the van and it's still not something that's completed. Even though I know that if Darren were to take time, not that he has any time, it's not his fault, then he could do it and he could complete it. But
Yeah.
it's like, so when I look at people doing that, like that type of project, I definitely am like, that's a lot to take on. So completing it is like a huge feat in my, you know what I mean? Like to me, that's something my brain doesn't really connect with very well. So I'm like, that's awesome that they were able to do that, you know?
But it's even like with Seth, because he would come over and like work on his van with me, like on my van, like we were working
Yeah.
on them together. And I would be like, he'd have these latches for the cabinets, and I could never figure out a good latch for the cabinet. And then
Yeah.
they had the perfect latch. And I'm like, where'd you get
And you're
that?
like, why? How did you get this?
But he didn't do any, he just found like he probably sat down for an hour and said, I'm only gonna look for latches or something. Because
Yeah.
Seth can do that. And then he
Yeah.
found the right latch. And I'm like, if we found that latch, could have made it so
Done
much
this,
easier
and
when you're
this.
driving and the drawers, you're trying to keep the drawers closed. And it
Right.
is kind of like a really smart invention that I didn't know about, but it's like if I just sat down for an hour and just I'm only gonna look for
This thing.
instead of just like I don't remember what I did. I probably Googled, or it's like Seth is the kind of person that will think the whole process through and then find that
Yeah.
thing at the beginning where I'm like, I'll build the drawers, I'll do the knobs, and then I'll figure out a way to latch them
Keep them closed later.
when we're driving. Where Seth
Yeah.
is probably like, we're gonna drive, the drawers are gonna want to slide open. What kind of latch would be
Yeah.
good so that I don't know, just things like that where
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think it comes back to self-discipline too, and just taking time to think it all through.
Right.
So I'll try to do that. And then like yesterday we were talking and Chelsea's like one of the best things I've done is remember like the old black and white notebooks? Just like
Composition, the
composition.
composition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I filled like four of those with just different things and
Uh-huh.
they helped. But if I make a note on my phone, like under notes, it'll I'll just forget about it and lose it.
Yeah.
Then I'll go
So
back and
you
look at
had
it for
four composition notebooks for the van, like as you were doing it?
I had one for the van. I had one for, I think they're in storage. I had one mostly just for the van, one for
Uh-huh.
like study and talks and stuff like that.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
One for like recipes and something else. Work.
And
Yeah, I did
work.
have one for
Okay.
work. So I think I need to go back to that. To have something that I can take with me that's literally just for drop like writing things.
Yeah.
I
Like
think
something a little bit more tangible. I do feel like there is something to be said about writing things down physically. Like Lee's husband, Lenny, he has those little yellow notepads, like you know what I'm talking about, and a
Mhm.
pen. But like when he goes to people's house to make sure that he has everything he needs, and again, he's making sure he's dotting his I's, crossing the T's. He has a notebook. And so, like, when he's going to make dinner, he even makes a list of like what time things need to go in and when they need to come out.
Oh
To
wow.
me, like, that is very, very self disciplined. Whereas if I make a baked potato, the kitchen is destroyed and I've done nothing, right? He's like, time to put the roast in the pot and we need to have our scallions over here. I'm over here literally opening the sour cream and it's on 45 knives for no reason. Now, that's not really about self discipline. That's more so about just like your brain going through a process. Like you said, like Seth's brain is at the very end, right? Whereas like mine, I'm going to make one meal, but you would think that I was making a meal plan for a month for a family of 5
Yeah.
and it's just baked potatoes or
Okay.
something.
But what role does like because we've had meals with you guys
Yeah.
and Jenna's like this too, but like
Yeah.
especially when there's people around, it's like you and Jenna will focus a lot on like who you're with
Oh,
and
yeah.
talking and like
Yeah.
asking questions. Does it is it like food takes a like the cooking part kind of takes a back seat to like the company
Yeah, I think so because
and
like
then you just
even
can't do both?
yeah, I think it takes a long time. Like I feel like and I think that's just part of having ADD too. Like what's going to give me more dopamine? Is it going to be having a conversation with somebody and like hearing about their life, or is it going to be about me cutting up this cauliflower and putting it in a pan? Like how
Hmm.
boring, you
Yeah.
know? But it's like in the end, does it need to get done? Yeah, and it will, but you'll eat in 3 hours. You'll eat in 3 hours. You'll be starving and never come back again for sure.
It'll be at the cabin, it'd be like we're all just chatting and talking and we're
Oh
making
yeah.
dinner, but all of a sudden we're like, it's like 8:30. And
Oh
we've been
yeah.
making dinner for like 2 hours.
Oh my gosh, when Vicky and Mark came to the cabin like a while ago, Mark and Vicky like to eat at like 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
And so we warned them, we're like, well, we're going to go to Jenna and Devin's. And so it'll take a long time. So then it was like this competition where then when when Vicky and Mark came to stay with me and Darren the next time, I told Darren, I'm like, I want dinner to be ready by 7 o'clock. And Darren was like, woo, girl. And I was like, I know, I know. But again, like I had to like hyper focus
Yeah.
and like don't get caught up in like, let's have a glass of wine and sit down a minute. It's like, really just doing the work to then have a nice dinner and then talk while you're eating. And yeah, I can just get carried away with the other part of it. Even sometimes it's kind of funny, like a sauce, like my sauce will be made, like making beef stroganoff as an example. You know, it's like I'll get that wine in there and then turn that on. And then by the time I'm like done talking and like making another cocktail with the beef stroganoff, the wine has like boiled and it's all gone. And I'm like using more of the wine for the sauce. And at the end, it's like I should have just drank the wine. I should
But
have
like,
just drank the wine.
but you're almost like setting yourself up to fail by making the most complicated dinner
Oh,
dish.
always. Oh,
And
always. I'm
then
always like bon appetit.
I'll just make the most
Lamb.
complicated beef dish ever. While,
Yes.
but while I'm chatting and we're having
Oh,
drinks.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so bad. I think I bought like instead of buying shallots at one point, I bought something else and started cutting them up. And my friend was like, "Oh shoot, that's supposed to be shallots." And I was like, "These are shallots." And I like held them up, and they definitely weren't shallots. Like I was like, "What am I putting in this?"
Scallions.
Yeah,
Scallions?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I bought scallions, and the recipe said shallots, and so I'm slicing up these scallions. I think at the end, I even was like, "Oh, I don't know. These will go good on there. I guess. I don't know."
So okay, so to wrap this up, what's one thing you try to do to help with your self-discipline? Or like where's one place that you could improve in your self-discipline?
Well, I think now, I think in January 2024, which Chelsea and I have talked about this a lot, just being way more mindful about how I am accomplishing things and not being on my cell phone has made a
Mhm.
huge difference. So like at night, instead of doom scrolling, where like my brain's receptors for dopamine are just blown through every single night, to where in the morning it's like you can't even have your coffee and just look out the window and enjoy the sunrise. Not that I'm getting up that early. My goodness, let's not fool the viewers. Let's not fool the viewers. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You wake up and it's like that's where you're relaxing. You're like scrolling. So now I'm reading a book at night and I can just tell a huge difference. It makes me be more self-disciplined with what I get joy out of instead of just being online or scrolling through people's Instagram or certain type of social media.
Yeah.
And I know Chelsea and I both have our little like things that we're working on, every week, every day, every month, whatever. So just little things that I think in the past I would have given up on right away because there's going to be a day where I find it very monotonous and boring
Yeah.
and absolutely given up on it 100%. But I think this year I'm pushing through those days and I'm still doing it, holding myself accountable. And like it's not about the reward, it's about being consistent. I'm horrible at consistency. So I'm trying to be more consistent. And one goal that I accomplished this weekend, we had no plans. And I was like, I'm going to reorganize my closet and make a DIY IKEA chandelier. All of these things were things I didn't really want to do, but I wanted them at the end. I want my closet to look a
Mm.
certain way and I want these things. And I did it. I'll post pictures of it.
All right. Is that the picture you posted of all the denim? Is that the start?
Yep.
Those are good
I
plans.
can't even
Good
tell you
plan.
how happy I was to see that lined up in such a way.
Yeah.
It's
There is good,
fantastic.
like it's like for me it's like the same phone, stay off the phone, which is hard. Not stay off
Hmm.
the phone, just be on the phone less. So when I do set it, I set it up to where I get the report how I did on like on Sundays, it says like,
Oh God. Yeah.
and that does help. Or I have timers now on my Instagram that say like, you've been on it for X, like and I might say not now, but at least
Yeah. I will say ignore for 15 minutes sometimes,
yeah.
but then I'm
But at
like,
least I
okay,
do like try. It's like
yeah.
just like those little things.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
and I do want to read more, and then I don't. So like I need to get better about like I want to read 20 books this year, and it's like I'm still on the third one, and
Well, it's only February.
I know, but it's like I think Chelsea reads faster than me and it retains it faster, but it's like she
Hmm.
started reading the book I was reading and then just felt like if she blew through it. And I'm like
Maybe, maybe
part
she
two.
should start putting in a fake bookmark for you and a real bookmark for her.
Or
So
lie to
it's like,
me. Just be like, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
struggling to get through this too. And you're like, right, me too.
Yeah. Instead, she just comes in and like slams the book down on the table in the morning and she's like, what a read.
What a read. And you're like, what? When did you read last
When
night?
did you read that?
Well, that was a shift too. I used to be me up till like late and she would go to bed at 8. Now I go to bed at 8 and she's up. So she might
Okay.
blast
So
through
then
like
maybe
half a
that's
book.
why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
Maybe
need
that's
to,
why.
I do want to stop looking at like news and Twitter so much and get back to reading.
Oh boy. So you are on the Twitter?
That's like my news source, which is horrible because it's
Oh
like the
no.
Wild
This,
West
oh
out there.
no.
Gosh.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Twitter's another, I mean, you're headed to Reddit next.
No,
You're
I'm
going to be
not
a
gonna
Reddit.
go. I'm not gonna do Reddit and I'm not gonna do TikTok, but
You say that. You
not
say
gonna do
that.
it. Not gonna
Reddit is one drop. Reddit is
gosh.
one mole away from Twitter.
Circle back. One mole away
Yeah.
from Twitter. I'm gonna stay off the mole.
Yeah. You got to stay off the mole because, woo
Man.
yeah, I had to delete TikTok 4 separate times. This is the longest I've ever not had it. And
Yeah.
it feels awesome. I'm not re-downloading it either. Like I know that I'm not. In the past, I knew I was. Like I'm like I'm
Yeah.
going to re-download it, no question asked. This time I was like I'm not. I got to get off this. I got to get off this train. So I
Get
did.
off the train.
Yeah.
All right. With the last little bit that we got, what's your
Yep.
song? What's your song?
Okay, I'm going to my songs. Here we go. Going here, going there. We've got all the things going on. Okay, it's called I've got now I don't know if I'm going to be able to pronounce this correctly. Um Uncle Jazz, Men I Trust. ONCLE Jazz, and
Okay.
it's Men I Trust.
Okay. Cool. Um, that's it. Just one.
Yeah, just one.
Okay. I'll check it
I'm
out.
trying to find some good new stuff like different types of jazz. That's why I posted that on our story.
Yeah, that
I
was a good one. I like that one.
was like, "Oh no."
I listen to a lot of Coldplay. I don't talk about it
Oh,
a lot, but I listen to a lot of Coldplay.
oh, I can stand some Coldplay.
So I'm gonna throw Green Eyes from Coldplay.
Oh, Green Eyes, Duality.
Green Eyes. That's how it
Green
goes.
Eyes. Yeah, that's the
Uh,
one you're talking about.
I like Green Eyes a lot. It's a good song, but I like the first two Coldplay albums I listen to pretty regularly.
Uh-huh.
Especially the second one. Um, Start to finish, it's pretty strong. So
Yeah.
throw Green Eyes on the list.
What was what are the first two? I'm trying to think about what ones they were. What the
Parachute
title?
and
Parachute.
A Rush of Cold Blood.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
Parachutes had like Trouble and Sparks and Yellow,
Oh my
and
gosh.
then the
Somebody bought me
Clock.
that. Yeah, I remember now. Okay.
Oh, fun story. I was in high school and Coldplay was coming because they were touring on Yellow, that song Yellow and Parachutes.
Yeah.
And it, didn't I? Did I tell you this one?
I don't remember yet.
It was like in high school, they were coming, Yellow was out. We got tickets, it was like $10. It was at the Showbox, which is a club in Seattle. It's like
Uh-huh.
1,000 person club.
Whoa.
So we were gonna go see them, and then it snowed a lot in the mountains,
Uh-huh.
and I went snowboarding instead and told my friends to just sell my ticket. So it was like a $10 ticket to go see Coldplay. And then I mean,
Oh my
years
gosh.
later, found out it was their very first American show.
Are you kidding me?
Was Seattle in 2000, probably like 2000 in Seattle at the Showbox. Um, and I had a ticket and I went snowboarding instead.
Wow. This is going to cause more controversy. Now people really aren't going to trust you musically.
I mean, I had a ticket. I was
I
halfway
mean,
there.
I bought a ticket.
Thankfully, in 2005, maybe Chelsea won a radio contest, and we went and saw Coldplay and Fiona Apple, except it wasn't at the showbox, it was at like an arena with like 17,000 people.
Whoa.
A lot can
I
change
love that mix
for
though.
you.
That's a great concert.
Yeah. What'd you say?
It was so good.
It was amazing. They are, and then we
Yeah,
saw
that
them
sounds
again a
awesome.
couple of years later, and they're just they're great. But it was like one of these things where I've never been like, oh, I'm a big Coldplay guy. And then I realized like, oh, I listen to them like all the time. And then I
I
think when my
actually
yeah, I think when my rap came out, they were like the fifth artist that I listened to the most,
Are
or
you serious?
like easily in the top 10.
And you could have went to their first American concert.
But it
Oh,
snowed a lot.
I'm not gonna lie, it snowed a lot. It snowed a
Yeah,
lot.
it was good.
1,000
Um,
people though. Wow, that would have been so
I know.
cool.
Oh, and I always remember when I see them, and I never remember when we're on the pod. But
Okay.
Jackson, Logan, and uh, Landon Tressler, the Tressler boys,
Yeah.
they all got COVID, and they
Yeah.
decided while they had COVID to uh, make a hardcore EP. And then they
Oh, like
realized,
not just our song.
no, well, this is what happened. They all
Okay.
got COVID. They were all stuck at home for a week. They wanted to make a hardcore EP. They were just telling me this last night. That was the
Okay.
plan, was to make a hardcore EP, but all they got through was one song, and it sounded very Blink heavy.
Oh my
So they
goodness.
have intentions of making more, but our intro and our outro is all Jackson, Logan, and Landon Dressler. So I have to give them.
Okay.
They
Shout out.
are uh,
What's their band?
13, 16, and 18.
Almost, yeah, I think.
Yeah, right around there.
What's their band name though?
I don't think they have a band name. I'll find
I
out.
mean,
They don't have a band name, but the song is called in, I think it's like inside your head. Like they spell it like Tom DeLonge would say it, you know,
stop.
like
Yeah.
inside your head or something like
Yeah.
that. So
Okay, they sound hysterical. Maybe we should
they
have
are
them on the
hysterical.
pod.
I actually thought about last night as we were talking. I was like, they actually would be fun. They we got in this long conversation about music because um like their dad and me are about the same age, so they grew up
Uh-huh.
on all what he listens to, and he grew up on like punk bands and stuff like that. So they
Right.
like they've gone and seen a ton of shows, and they love music.
That's
um,
cool.
but their perspective on all those bands from like the early
Yeah.
2000s is different than
Huh.
growing up in it and stuff. So maybe that'd be fun to have them on
That
and
would be kind
talk
of
about music.
fun.
They're super cool, super cool. So
Yeah, that would be.
I
So
keep meaning.
they're gonna be our intro, or now they have a new song that's gonna be the exit song for
I don't think
everybody.
they haven't gotten COVID again, so they haven't had the
They
time
need
to
to get COVID again.
So I
When
asked,
are they going to get COVID again?
I don't know, maybe we could try to help them with
We have
that.
to arrange it.
Maybe we could arrange it.
We need to
Landon,
arrange that.
Landon last night. Oh, okay. Here's more context. Landon last night, the middle one,
Uh-huh.
said he's got like 5 riffs or 5 tracks that he's kind of got ready. But his older brother Logan is the drummer, and Logan broke his collarbone snowboarding, so he's not quite back up to
Oh,
drumming yet.
okay. That's a bad break.
It was a bad break. So
Yikes.
he's out of the sling. He was hanging out, like but he's not ready to like drum again yet.
So
But
he's not like Travis Barker again, but he's headed there.
he's not quite Travis Barker, but they get injured enough like him. So uh
Well,
yeah.
we need to
Oh,
have them on the pod and talk about this. Sounds
we
great.
should. They'd be fun. So
Yeah.
Tressler boys, you guys are awesome for letting us use your music. So
Yeah. That is awesome.
yeah,
Actually, they should just call themselves the Tressler Boys. That's a great
Tressler
band name.
boys. I would say like the Tressler Three, but that sounds like a jazz ensemble or something like that.
Double TB.
So,
No, it's horrible. That's horrible. Don't even think it's good.
we'll
That was
workshop
awful.
it. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. 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 We will come up with their band name. Don't worry, guys. We got this.
All right, they're gonna love this.
Awesome.
All right. Well, um,
Uh, I'm gonna go boil some water and put my fingertips inside of it.
I'm gonna go snowboard with Logan Tressler and see if I can break my collarbone. That would be more fun than
Then this talk.